This is tradition in WWE, the premium live event after WrestleMania Backlash will be taking place this weekend in Lyon, France, in an interesting card coming off the heels of the WWE draft, with the roster officially locking in on the Monday after Backlash. So we're going to break all things down here today. There are 5 matches on the card, 2 women's matches, 3 men's contests, with the main event being Cody Rhodes' first title defense of the new undisputed WWE Championship. Which, side note, I am a little bit surprised that Cody Rhodes did not get the Winged Eagle title back. I'm surprised the championship did not just refer back to the WWE Championship. And I am surprised that WWE did not retire the Universal Championship, technically speaking, as the greatest championship reign of all time. 1,316 days belongs to our tribal chief. But let's start by talking about Backlash. And this first match, I believe, will feature the Storm, Jade Cargill, along with her new buddy Bianca Belair. They are both staying on Friday Night SmackDown. They take on the team now representing Monday Night Raw of Kairi Sane and Asuka, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of Damage Control, which that entire group now represents the Red Brand. Of course, this match stems from the 6-woman tag team match at WrestleMania that also, of course, involved Naomi on the Bianca Belair Jade Cargill side, Dakota Kai on the Damage Control side, and how Io Sky is seemingly lost in the shuffle as she lost her women's tag team champ, or her women's championship, I should say, to the role model. And of course, excuse me, we will get to her matchup up next here. But in my opinion, I think that WWE, not a lot of title changes I don't think are going to happen on this show, and I think that WWE is going to protect Jade Cargill here. So if anything, Bianca Belair would take the fall. But I am going to go in a different direction. And I think that Bianca and Jade are going to be such a powerhouse, and I don't think there's a lot for any of these 2 women to do. I think it could also lead to a potential breakup angle down the line. Maybe we have Bianca versus Jade one-on-one, a big spotlight match at SummerSlam this year, which is taking place in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. But I think Damage Control moving to Raw. Now, with that said, there are a lot of women tag teams on Raw, but also Chelsea Green and Piper Niven just got drafted to SmackDown. And we know that the Women's Tag Team Championships do change brands. I think there's an opportunity there, obviously, for Bianca and Jay to get into a little bit of a mini feud there with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Of course, Jade Cargill destroying Chelsea Green on a couple of occasions on the Raw and SmackDowns after WrestleMania 40. So, with that being said, I think that we're going to get a nice little surprise here. I think Damage Control needs to move on to other things. I think Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill will walk away your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And I think that there's a possibility where this match goes the same way the WrestleMania match went. Bianca takes most of the beating. Jade Cargill comes in, does her thing, destroys Damage Control, and wins the titles for the babyface team. Let's get to the other women's match of the night, which of course will feature the role model Bayley, as I mentioned, the new WWE Women's Champion. She defends in a triple threat match against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. A little bit of a different matchup. This, of course, came about a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when Bayley was defending the Women's Championship against Naomi. Tiffany Stratton would interfere after losing to Naomi the previous week. She would hit the prettiest moonsault ever, which is indeed the prettiest moonsault ever, as Tiffy time, ladies and gentlemen, is taking over the blue brand. All 3 of these superstars are sticking on the blue brand. The other involvement here is Nia Jax, who got drafted from the red brand to the blue brand. And as we saw, was taking out Bayley during a match between Naomi and Tiffany Stratton last week on SmackDown. I do think Nia Jax will get involved. I think it only makes sense. I don't know why WWE did not book this match to be a fatal 4-way, but at the end of the day, I don't think Naomi nor Tiffany Stratton is winning this match. I think the fact that Nia Jax took out Bayley is sort of foreshadowing the fact that we're going to get a Bailey versus Nia Jax feud here down the line. And as great as Tiffany Stratton is, as great as Tiffy Time is, I don't think it's great for Bailey to pin the face here in Naomi. I think Naomi would be the one to not take the fall. I think a Bailey elbow or a Bailey belly to belly after all the cast ensues will ensure that the role model is still the WWE Women's Champion. The other thing here is, unlike in previous eras, specifically now in the new era that we are in the Triple H era, Triple H seems to love the long title reigns. And I don't think Bailey, who is one of his favorites, obviously, ever since the Four Horsewoman days in NXT, I don't think she will be a traditional champion. Then we get the Bloodline, which of course features Tommy Tonga and Solo Sikoa after they took out Jimmy Uso on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, as Solo Sikoa says the orders have come from the Tribal Chief. But the question is, which member of the Tribal Chief did that come from? Did it come from the actual Tribal Chief, or did it come from the Final Boss? Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We will find that out in time as fans are beginning to chant for the one, the only undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And Cody Rhodes has not done anything with that championship. I'm sorry, I had predicted it. I don't think WWE has a lot of challengers for Cody lined up, specifically with Gunther on Monday Night Raw. I thought Roman should have retained the championship, but that's for another day. Now they take on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who of course were two prominent members of the Bloodline. I am still butthurt, if you will, that we did not get Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns during it. Obviously we were supposed to get it at SummerSlam 2022. I wanted it at SummerSlam 2024 this year. Randy Orton being hurt gave us the Brock Lesnar match, gave us the tractor spot, which to this day is my favorite spot in the history of the sport of professional wrestling. But Randy Orton was so hot before he got injured, and he's still hot now. But RK Bro was one of the hottest things that we've seen in WWE, ever since the Yes movement, I would say. Of course, until the We Want Cody, the Cody Crybabies movement occurred earlier this year. Uh, but now we have Randy and Kevin Owens, of course, were a little bit of buddy when they were going up against Logan Paul for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 40. They've remained buddy, and Kevin Owens has never not wanted to fight the Bloodline, and Randy Orton has never wanted to fight the Bloodline. So here we are in an excellent tag team match. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton have excellent chemistry. I don't think they're going to turn on each other. But at the end of the day, I think we're starting to get the new form here of the new Bloodline with Solo Sikoa in charge. As Solo Sikoa and Tommy Tunga will win this match with the debut of a new Bloodline member. Now, who will that Bloodline member be? I don't know. There are a lot of them that WWE has reportedly signed or have been in NXT. We know that family runs long for decades, but I do think that Solo Sikoa, Tommy Tonga will win this match with interference, with a distraction by the referee, which will allow either Solo to hit his spike, Tommy Tunga to hit his finisher, and that will be all she wrote for the KO show and the Viper. At the end of the day, I do think that the Bloodline story here with Solo will be driving SmackDown for most of the summer until Roman Reigns returns for a potential SummerSlam showdown with the undisputed champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Speaking of the Bloodline, of course, Jey Uso, he gets a World Championship match against Damian Priest, and will be the semi-main event of Backlash. Again, this card's a very weird card. Jey Uso winning a fatal four-way match that also involved Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Bronson Reed on the night after WrestleMania to get this opportunity. Main event, Jey Uso, the first pick of Monday Night Raw in the 2024 WWE Draft. The man that all he does is scream, "Yeet!" will now look to take down the champion, former Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, to, of course, cash in the Money in the Bank contract on Drew McIntyre. And we know now, with the injury to Mommy, the former, of course, Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, and of course, after JD McDonough got knocked out by Super Bowl rings, with Logan Paul using Patrick Mahomes' 3 Lombardi Trophy rings this past Monday, and Finn Balor and now Dominic Mysterio needing Tommy John surgery, and him looking like Senor Sanchez with that stupid mustache. That the Judgment Day is falling apart. And I think that the storylines leading to the entire Judgment Day may disband when Rhea Ripley comes back, and Ripley's going to try to get the band back together. But I think Priest, Balor, obviously JD, Dom, they're falling apart. They will interfere in this match. Now, I don't think that Jey Uso is going to walk away with the World Heavyweight Championship. I think WWE has other plans. There is a moment here where I think that Jey could win the World Championship, and we get Jey versus Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. We could even have a triple threat match between Jey, McIntyre, and Priest. We know the history with McIntyre and Jey Uso. We know the history with McIntyre and Priest. I think that would also make sense as well, considering the fact that Drew McIntyre is not booked to perform on this show. And of course, the King and Queen of the Ring premium live event in Saudi Arabia is more for that prestigious tournament. So, with that being said, I do think there's going to be Judgment Day interference. I think some way, somehow, Damian Priest will retain the World Championship. I can see Drew McIntyre making an appearance, potentially causing a distraction for both men, as of course McIntyre is now slowly focused on CM Punk, the man who he believes ripped away the World Heavyweight Championship from him at WrestleMania 40. But I think that this is going to be a good match. It's a good test for Damian Priest, who has not had a lot of matches, a lot like the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, since winning the World Championship back at WrestleMania. But I do think Priest will retain. I think, Jey will kick out of a South Evan chokeslam. Jey will hit a spear. Jey will hit a splash. There will be some sort of interference by the Judgment Day that helps Priest keep his championship, potentially by disqualification, which will lead us into another matchup down the line. And then finally, Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, first time ever, obviously will main event this event in France, which I'm convinced the crowd will make this a better show than what it is on paper. Again, WWE PLEs, sometimes with these B-level premium live events that don't look like they have the best card like this one, our expectations are low. So the show is a lot better oftentimes than the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank. Now I put in that sort of top 5 premium live events, if you will, where our expectations are completely through the roof. And sometimes those shows disappoint because of our high expectations. But I think Cody and AJ will obviously have one of the best matches of the night, maybe the best match of the night. I see a newfound aggressive pitbull AJ Styles coming up just a little bit short. I think Cody will have to hit maybe 2 crossroads for the victory, but I see a lot of back and forth. I see a lot of great technical wrestling here. I see the American Nightmare kicking out of not only a Styles Clash, but a phenomenal forearm as well. But at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes is victorious. I don't think we see interference from LA Knight, who, of course, is the person that not only did AJ Styles lose to WrestleMania 40, but he had to beat because of the cheating tactics to get this opportunity. There's not been a lot of physicality. That may change this weekend on SmackDown when they're in France for that face-to-face confrontation. But even during the contract signing, there was a lot of respect. And we know AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes have barely been in the same company before. And this is the first time ever matchup, not just in WWE, but across the world for these two men to go head to head. It's a very exciting matchup, interesting classes. I don't think AJ Styles is going to ever have a bad match. AJ Styles no longer wants none. He's going to be deadly focused on attacking Cody Rhodes' entire body. He's going to put on a fantastic match. But at the end of the day, AJ Styles comes up short, and I don't think we get another rematch here in Saudi Arabia at King and Queen of the Ring. I could be wrong depending on the way they do it. If AJ Styles tries to cheat or something like that, claims he got cheated, etc. But I think AJ and Cody Rhodes can move on. Again, if they do have a second match, it could be a gimmick match in Saudi, considering the fact the likes of Brock Lesnar will not be there. CM Punk will probably not be there. Who knows if Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins won't be there. So, LA Knight will probably be there. That's another star power that they could use. But at the end of the day here, I think Cody Rhodes goes over clean and what will be a fantastic 20 to 25-minute match. So to recap, I have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships from Damage Control. I have Bayley retaining the Women's Championship from Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, though I think Nia Jax will interfere. I think Solo Sikoa and Tommy Tonga will defeat Team RKO, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, after a new Bloodline member will make his debut. Damian Priest will retain the World Championship against Jey Uso, whether that is by disqualification or whether that is by distraction by the Judgment Day, as Finn Balor, Dom, JD, the whole crew will interfere, and then Cody Rhodes will defeat AJ Styles and retain the Undisputed Championship. So I have Cody winning, I have Bailey winning, and I have Jade and Bianca winning on the babyface side. It's one of the reasons why I think Damian Priest will retain the world championship rather than Jey Uso win the world championship, because I do think there's going to be more baby faces going over in this premium live event than heels, and I think the only heel that's locked in to win their match is Solo Sikoa, Tommy Tonga, the Bloodline. Again, is it possible that Damage Control retains the Women's Tag Team Championships? Yes, especially considering the fact there are way more tag teams in the women's division on Raw than there are SmackDown, though Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae are also on SmackDown now. So again, along with Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, there are some people for Bianca and Jade Cargill to face. And I just think that Jade Cargill, I don't see her losing, even if it is in a tag team match. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.